Pacifico is a Mexican lager brewed to be discovered. It's like fresh tracks on a powder day. Like that uncharted trail a stone's throw away. Like the perfect wave on a sunny day. Pacifico. Find your own way. 21 plus. Drink responsibly. Imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
The Partial Breakaway Podcast with your hosts Nick and Junior and producer Vince, bringing you elite fantasy hockey information to help you win your fantasy leagues and win at life.
Episode 120 of the Partial Breakaway Fantasy Hockey Podcast. I'm co-host Junior, accompanied as usual by co-host Nick and producer Vince across the table. A wild week in the NHL. A lot of injuries, which we'll get to. A lot of teams that started off on fire are finally starting to dip. Montreal Canadiens. And a lot of teams that started low, slowly, are finally starting to rise. Example, Tampa Bay Lightning. So, how was your week, guys?
It was pretty good. I'm a little bit concerned about your voice there. Yeah, usually you start off with all this energy and this passion, and when you say episode, and this time it kind of like it trailed off a little bit. It kind of felt weak.
It did. And we said we had to bring the energy after last week.
He was busy organizing a birthday party for his daughter this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a good excuse. I mean,
Happy second birthday to Camila.
Yeah, absolutely. She showed a lot of her character, by the way, this time around.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So yeah, what's going on?
Well, we have an announcement. Should we mention the announcement right off the bat?
Yeah. Let's let the listeners know.
It's not like if it was a trade announcement, like we were trading one of our podcasters for another one, we would have played the Gary Bettman one, but it's not that yet.
Yeah, well, I tried getting rid of Vince, but it wasn't. I wasn't getting any value. Actually, I tried paying to get rid of him, but nobody wanted him.
My ass is just stuck in this chair forever.
Yeah, part of the furniture.
Elliot Friedman was too busy; he couldn't take on another podcast.
Yeah, I wish. No offense, Vince. So the announcement basically is that we will be doing our Odd Man Rush every Monday and our PBLL every Monday, and publishing it every Monday because those are timely on Mondays. They're important. You have the news of the week to start you off, and you have the strategy for PBLL and who's playing more games, waiver wire. It affects a lot of different things, PBLL. It's not just who's hot, what waivers to look at, and who's playing more games. It gives you a lot more information than that. So we think that that's very relevant for Mondays. Then we will have a second show during the week, which will be Fantasy Lens. It's going to be a show about either theory for fantasy hockey or strategies for fantasy hockey or any type of face-offs, listener questions that we've had.
Mailbags, if we want to do a mailbag. Yeah.
That's going to be the second episode of the week, which is going to be published, I believe,
Wednesdays or Thursdays, probably Wednesdays.
Probably Wednesdays. Midweek. So it gives you a little bit of more things to listen to, but both episodes will be shorter than our usual 1.5 hour episodes that we do.
Right. I think that's the biggest thing. An hour and a half is pretty long. It also has a lot of ads. So this will break it down a little bit. It'll make it a lot cleaner. And it allows us to go more in depth because a lot of times we feel like we don't want the episode to be super long. So sometimes we find ourselves rushing through answers a little bit. Whereas now, we could do an hour and a half episode and a 30-minute episode. Because we know we're still not going to shut up and still going to get to an hour and a half.
Oh, no, I'll shut you guys up.
Anyhow, all this is available on any audio podcast platform. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, you name it, you find us. Then what you could also do is if you can't listen to the whole episode, you follow our socials. Instagram, TikTok, X, Like and subscribe on YouTube at Partial Break Pod. That's where we send out all our clips. We've been sending out 3 to 4 clips a day. So yeah, anything you can't and don't have the time to listen to continuously, feel free to follow us on our socials to get our pretty good, awesome clips.
Subscribe, auto download. Not hard. Just click auto download. To a few friends.
If you're watching on YouTube, press that like button, press that subscribe button. You'll be notified every time that we have an episode that drops. You don't have to watch the whole thing. You could fast forward just to the parts that I talk. All right. Let's start.
Let's do this.
Odd Man Rush.
Oh, baby. All right. This is the On Man Rush, where we take news trends of the NHL and turn them into 30 seconds. We take news, notes, and trends of the NHL and turn them into 30-second takes, which usually take 3 minutes. This
Usually lasts 3 minutes.
ding, ding, ding.
Well,
and
we're
it
not
is-
starting off this new trend very well, Junior. I'm not sure if, yeah.
Shout out to Sportira. The On-Man Rush is brought to you by Sportira. As you can see, we're all covered here in Sportira merch. So thank you to them. Anything sports-related corporate uniforms, you go to www.sportira.com or follow them on Instagram at sportira.apparel. Okay, so I kind of teased this in the intro. A lot of injuries this week. And we're going to start with a goalie, Joey Decord. Nick, I'll start with you. He's injured day-to-day. Grubauer has filled in for him to start. Not bad, but what should our listeners know about Joey Decord's injury, and is Grubauer reliable enough in his absence?
Well, the cord was absolutely saving my season. He was my second goalie in LPHL. My first was Hellebuck, and he was outpacing Hellebuck to start the season in fantasy points for that league. He has a 900 save percentage, 6 wins in 11 games played, but he was playing very, very well. It's unfortunate because he ends up going down here. I was really hoping to have him continue because he was playing almost all the games. Like he played 11 games in this early season. 1 shutout, 6 wins, under a 3.0 goals against average. So he was having a very good year to start off the year. Unfortunately, though, he goes down here, and I don't know if are you really interested in his backup, like Grubauer or Matt Murray? And by the way, you mentioned that he's day-to-day, but he's also on IR.
Okay.
So
So
it's
he's-
at least 7 days. It's 10 days.
Yeah,
right?
I think he's at least missing. He's already missed a few games, so I think he was at least missing 3 games total. It's unfortunate, but you can't start him this week if it's a weekly lock league.
All right. Vince?
Yeah, I'm not, listen, he 3 wins, 1 overtime loss so far in the 5 games he played, Grubauer. Seattle plays a very sound team defense game. So if you're desperate for a goalie, especially if you're on a head-to-head league and desperate for a goalie, he wouldn't be that bad of a pickup. But, I mean, he's not your full-time keeper at that point.
Well, look, the Seattle Seahawks are playing the Red Wings.
Seahawks?
Wow, I am rusty.
Yeah, today
Wow.
it's
Holy
it's a little
moly.
rough for you today.
Yeah,
That
it's a little
birthday
rough.
really hit you, huh?
The Seattle Kraken are playing the Red Wings, the Blackhawks, the Penguins, and the Islanders this week. So if there's a week you could start them, you would think these low-scoring games maybe
Exactly.
would be the week. Vince, Team Canada Olympic hopeful was there for the Four Nations. Veteran Drew Doughty injured his his foot in the game versus Ottawa. Was seen in a walking boot, and they're saying he's gonna miss at least a couple of weeks. Brand Clark time ish.
I think they've been waiting for Brent Clark-ish time for the past few years. I mean, Doughty's going to be maybe not more, but like on the point section, like he has 8 points in 19 games, but played 23 minutes a game, 22 minutes and 33 seconds a game. So I think that's where they're going to miss him more than not. Um, is it Brand Clark? I don't know. Like, is he the guy, Nick?
Can I put Junior on IR?
Yeah. For how long?
At least until next week.
So yeah, listen. It's fantasy wise. I mean, if anybody had Drew Doughty, it wasn't as their number one, number two, number three defenseman. So I don't think it's a big hit fantasy wise. But for the Los Angeles Kings,
Look, he's a name,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Let's be serious. He's a name, and there are people that had him not maybe as their number one, but starting in their lineups because Drew Doughty does, especially for hits in leagues and block leagues,
Yeah.
like Doughty does actually provide those. So he had 8 points in 19 games. It's whatever. It's not great, but it's still a 35-point pace. Where he really excels is literally his blocks and
Yeah. No,
No.
but that's what I'm saying. It's going to be more of a. It's more.
even his hits are not that high.
No, it's 11. That's what that.
11 hits in
yeah.
19 games. It's not.
So
It's not Drew Doughty numbers.
No,
He's still
but-
playing 22 minutes,
Yeah.
22 and a half minutes a night. But
He's also 35, turning 36. So, I mean, listen.
December.
Like I
He's a
said,
December birthday.
Fantasy wise, I don't think it'll hurt anybody. But NHL wise, reality wise, I think LA is going to miss him.
Yeah.
Well, this is definitely going to hurt fantasy-wise, I think. Nick, Valery Nichushkin is out week to week. Yesterday, Bednar said he'd probably miss a handful of games. Who do you look to here to fill the void? And does this mean that Lekanen is probably now a staple for sure on power play one at least until Nichushkin comes back? Or
Lekanen has been doing pretty well lately, and unfortunately for Nichushkin, well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Nichushkin was doing okay. He had 12 points in 17 games. He was averaging about 18 minutes of time on ice, 41 shots in 17 games. You like to see that, right? Over 2 shots per game, so that's good. But I think Lekanen really takes over here. It's unfortunate for Nichushkin. He has been that injury-prone player every single year. The last time I think that he played a full season or close to a full season was the COVID-shortened season. That's the last time he actually had close to a full game slate of games, and that was only 62 at the time. So it's to be expected. I think if you're an Nichushkin owner, you're disappointed, but it's to be expected. Hopefully you have an IR slot that you could put him in.
Yeah, I would watch for Ross Colton on that team to get extra minutes on that second line, second power play. He can be a good pickup if you're looking for depth on that team. The only thing that this might hurt is Brock Nelson's productivity while he's gone.
yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Not that he was being very productive
No,
anyway,
yeah.
but okay. Next, we go to another important player, Marco Rossi, out week to week for the Minnesota Wild. Vince, that's a pretty significant loss because they are already thin down the middle. Do you think this is an opportunity for Yurov to get more playing time and show his worth, or do you have someone else in mind here that could take advantage of this opportunity?
Well, Zuccarello just came off of injury, so I think he's a no-brainer pickup right now if he's still available in your leagues. Because him and Kaprizov just have this chemistry that's unheard of when they were playing together. And, I mean, the one guy that I think they're going to try before Yurov is going to be Ryan Hartman because he's already played with Kaprizov, already played a number one center role. I know he kind of disappeared in the past few years, but this could be his reincarnation for the next 2 weeks while Marco Rossi is injured.
Nick, anything you want to add?
Not really. I think it's unfortunate for Rossi. He's a little bit of a weird player in the sense that he shoots under a shot per game. No, sorry, under 2 shots per game. So a shot and a half per game. But he was still on a 63-point pace, right? Which would have been his career year. So it's funny how like he wasn't doing great in his last 5 games, only 1 point in his last 5 games. But now you're getting somebody that hopefully Hartman takes over, or who knows?
Yeah, and for
It's either Hartman or Yurov, like you said.
the Wild played tonight, and Yurov was on a line with Trenin and Foligno.
Yeah, on the
So
fourth
it
line.
looks like it is Hartman that to start anyway. We'll get
According to Daily Faceoffs, it's showing Hartman, Kaprizov, and Zuccarello as a line.
All right, let's move on to what I think is the pure definition of injury prone. You can't make this stuff up, really. Jack Hughes, freak accident, cuts his pinky with glass at a team dinner. Out 8 weeks. This guy was on pace for 96 points. Vince, how big of a loss is this for New Jersey? And does it open the door for, I don't want to just say a player to come up and take a spot, but does it also open the door maybe for a guy like Heischer to get more points, to maybe take the team on his back? Or, and does that make him, because he hasn't been great lately, Heischer. Does this propel him maybe and just boost him a bit?
But it's guaranteed he sure is going to get the first crack at the first line with Timo Meyer and Jesper Bratt. So, I mean, he sure's value obviously goes up in the next 8 weeks while Jack Hughes is off. I mean, it's just the 1 year where you think Jack Hughes is just going to, tear the world apart. It's something freak like this happens, and it's crazy. So, listen, Dawson Mercer was already having a very good beginning of the year under this year with the Devils. Now his minutes are going to push up to line 2 minutes. So I would look for Dawson Mercer to be a little more productive. He has to be more productive if Devils want to continue on the run that they're at.
Yeah, I mean, this hurts Bratt. It hurts Meyer because although I like Heischer a lot, he's no Jack Hughes.
No.
Or he's not as talented. I find he's not as big of a creator as Jack Hughes. But it does help Mercer and it does help Heischer, and I think that's where we leave it at.
From one American star to another, Austin Matthews seems to be out for at least a week. The Toronto's already struggling. What do we foresee here in Toronto the next coming week without Austin Matthews?
Well, the only person it really helps, I think, is Domi. Because Tavares was already top power play and he was already playing top 6 with Nylander. So, for me, Domi gets a chance here as second-line center. Nyes, Roy, and Cowan seem to be a new line that's developed as a third-line, kind of second-line, whatever you want to call it, right? Middle 6 line. So I can't say Tavares really gains anything out of this, but it does help Domi. So and it's nice to know that Cowan is back into the lineup.
I think this is a thin ice for Toronto as a team, losing Matthews because they're already struggling. Now you lose your star player. If they keep on struggling like this, there will be mayhem in Toronto. So, but like Nick said, fantasy-wise, I don't see it. Maybe Nicholas Robertson. He's been on a bit of a hot run.
He's been really good as of late.
Yeah, he's been on a hot run lately. So I see maybe him, but I think it's going to be more of a mix and match and see what works on what week.
They have a decent schedule coming up. St. Louis Blues, Columbus Blue Jackets, Montreal Canadiens. If they don't have a good week, then they're in trouble. But they seem to have a friendly schedule to get out of this.
Yeah, it's a friendly schedule. Like it's a good time for Matthews to get injured. It's never a good time, but I'm just saying, like it's if there was any week to get injured, this would be the one.
Well, speaking of a good time, I guess, to get injured, it's nice to know that you have a guy like Heiskanen who's on fire for you. When a guy like Thomas Harley gets injured and is out week to week. Vince, he's been playing hurt from what Elliot Friedman has reported, which would make a lot of sense based off the stats he's been putting up. But you don't see it that way, right?
No, listen, he saw Hiskinen take over his minutes. He says, screw this. I'm not playing injured anymore. I'm going down. No. Okay. Listen, maybe he was playing hurt. I mean, a lot of NHLers play hurt. I mean, it's just a physical game. There's no player that's actually 100% healthy most of the time when they're playing. So, I mean, I think because of Hiskinen's surgeons, they said, I think it might have played a part, saying, "Listen, Harley, how about you take a few weeks off just to try and patch up the injury you have."
But I think this is indicative. Like we've been talking about injuries in this odd man rush, right?
Yeah.
I think this is indicative of the fact that the schedule is so condensed
Because the
a
Olympics,
lot of players are playing a lot of games. Like, how many teams this week did we see before while doing our research are playing 4 games? Like, half the league is playing 4 games this week.
they have no choice. Yeah.
So, this plays a role in how many of these guys get injured. It also plays a role in how many of these guys are day to day and they sit out one game. Like Hagel, right? He sits out one game. Okay, back the next game. Don't worry about it. To give these guys a rest a little bit because, you know, it's such a condensed schedule that the injury risk goes up. Now, I should also mention that as fantasy managers, you got to be on top of this.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a hard year to navigate these day-to-day injuries because you never know who's in the lineup and who isn't and who's getting a rest and who isn't.
You have to pay attention.
Right? You have to pay attention.
And if I can just add to that, I also think it's this early in the season, how many of them are actually opting for surgery? So a lot of times, like you said, they're always injured. They always play through injury. I think because of the Olympics,
2
they're
weeks off.
opting to have surgery not to miss the Olympics instead of playing through it maybe.
Or even having the surgery because those 2 weeks are off for some players. So it's 2
Yeah,
weeks of
they're not
recovery.
going,
They're
yeah.
not losing the season for it.
Well, let's go to a team that just got riddled with injuries this week. We'll start with Kirby Doc out 4 to 6 weeks. Newhook out 4 months, and he was having probably a career year. And then this is the one I want to emphasize because it might have been mismanagement from the staff. Gooley is expected to be out 8 to 10 weeks. His initial injury report was 4 to 6 weeks. They decided to see if he could get by without surgery. It took them 4 weeks, 4 freaking weeks to realize he couldn't get by without surgery. So instead of missing 8 to 10 weeks, he's actually missing 10 to an extra 14, like 14 weeks basically.
And I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, the biggest blowout of all of these guys is Gooley at the end of the day because guys like Struble, you know, and guys like Jacky, but it's just not the same as Gooley. Gooley is much more talented, much more involved in the brains of defense.
He's a good subtle defenseman,
Right.
You know,
And Hudson and Struble have been struggling as a pair.
yeah.
You know, they've been struggling as a pair. So it doesn't look good.
No, Montreal's defensive depth is not there. I mean, when Struble and now, it's not,
Well,
it's,
look, Dobson really helped, right?
Yeah, no,
because
Dobson,
having
yeah.
a Dobson, it makes Gooley's loss not as significant because he's there to kind of take over that number one role
But
as the number one defender. But
since Gooley went down, Montreal the struggle started with Montreal.
I wouldn't say that. I mean,
So-
he
and-
went down after 5 games.
And the mismanagement of Gooley, listen, when your expectations are playoff now for Montreal, if the expectations were like 2 years ago where it's just, you know, we're rebuilding, I think they would have, they wouldn't even have hesitated to get that surgery. So I think because the expectations are higher now and he's so important to this team, they said, you know, let's test it out and see what it is. And now, unfortunately, it backfired on them.
Okay, so Kirby Doc and Newhook both out. Both were second and third line. Anybody you feel can take advantage of this opportunity and step up? I mean, it might be a good time for Demidov to wake up a little bit. He's been a bit slow lately.
Well, I was going to say that Montreal, fantasy-wise, I think is more of a one-line team. I think it's the top line is the top line, and that's where you're really getting your points from. If you were really owning anybody on the second lines, it's Demidov. And maybe Bolduc, if you have a hits league and you're trying to get a little bit more of those peripherals as well, because he's okay, but he's kind of slowed down a lot since the beginning of the year as well. Davidson came in. He's a nice little story. He was a draft pick. He was an overager draft pick that we had drafted a few years ago. He came in and he showed pretty well, but the speed is a little bit fast for him just from my eye test. They were interested in David Kampf. They were interested in signing him because they just don't have a lot of depth.
Yeah.
And so it looks like with this Dak injury, you're kind of looking at maybe a call up to come in. Maybe Evans plays more minutes as a third liner instead of a fourth liner.
Yeah, the call-up will be Joshua Roy.
I think.
think so?
I think you
I think it's
mentioned.
Beck.
I think you
No.
mentioned the right player in Bolduc. He's the one now that has to step up. He's been practicing on power play 1 since all these injuries. It's his time.
Well, he's been practicing on power play 1 because power play 1 with the Demidov, Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavkovsky,
Yeah, they went cold.
and Hudson went completely
Yeah.
down. the
Even
drain.
adding Dobson to that, because they added Dobson, it still went cold.
They took
It
out
didn't
Hu-
solve
no,
anything.
because
They don't
took-
shoot. They just pass.
Yeah, they took out Hudson because he was not a threat to shoot from the blue line. So a lot of teams were just closing in the PK, and then
Well, they didn't take out
No,
Hudson.
they played
Hudson
both.
is playing
Hudson
with,
and Dobson.
with Dobson together.
They took out
Two
Slavkovsky.
defensemen.
yeah, and
So to your point, though, what you mentioned about Hudson being a threat to shoot is absolutely correct. Other teams don't fear him.
No.
In fact, what they're doing is they're covering Suzuki, they're covering Caulfield, they're covering Dobson, and they're like, here, Hudson, you want to beat us from the point? You beat us from the point. And he can't. He doesn't have that power bomb from the point. He's more of a finesse player up close to shoot top corner from the circle kind of thing.
And at the time, everyone was happy-go-lucky in La La Land and, didn't really care for the injury. But now you start to see how important line it could have been. Because this power play just went 0 for 7. This power play has been brutal. With all these injuries, he should have been the one now that would have been put on that power play 1
So my thing
to try to ease. And that's the depth we were talking about when we lost
my
line.
thing is that they put too many of the same player on the team on power play 1. What do I mean by that? Well, you had Bolduc as a net front. You take him off.
as a bumper, he was the
Right?
bumper one-timer shot.
You take Slavkovsky off. So now you have no big guy in front of the net. So you're just perimeter playing.
Yeah.
Demidov is passing it to Dobson, who's on the perimeter. Dobson's passing it to Hudson, who's on the perimeter, to
Suzuki behind the
on the
net.
perimeter, to Caulfield on the other perimeter. So you're just a perimeter team now.
Yeah.
You need that big body in front of the net.
The struggle was real. I mean, against Boston, what did they get? 2, 3, 5-on-3s?
2 5 on
2
3s.
5-on-3s,
And
7
and
power plays.
7 power plays, not
not
one freaking.
So there were.
goal.
I think this is why Bolduc will be back on power play 1 just because of that.
They need to put somebody big in front of the net, or
Or
else
even-
you're not screening anybody.
No,
You're not doing anything.
Change it up.
Yeah,
Change it up.
they have no choice. The power play
Screen
is
and take
way too
shots
cold.
from the point. They don't have to be slappers. All right.
Dobson could play that Weber rule.
Yeah. Well, enough about injuries. How about we turn the tide and talk about teams or a player in particular that took advantage of these injuries? And Jason Robertson, who obliterated the Montreal Canadiens with a hat trick this week. On top of that, he finished with 9 points in 3 games played. Robertson is back. Vince?
Listen, he was back for 1 game, but it seems like he's got he's got his footings back. So, and it also helps that Hintz is not injured and on the ice with him because they collaborate very well on the ice together. So I think it's all about confidence for Jason Robertson. I think right now he has that confidence. If he's on your team, he's you're starting him. There's no reason to even bench him.
Yeah, well, I don't think you were ever benching Jason Robertson, and he has 10 points in his last 4 games, right? So exactly what you said, he's super hot. He's at 99-point pace so far for the season, and that's after 19
Flirting with 100.
flirting with 100. He's hit 109 in the past.
Yeah, but the
2022
argument
though.
was
It's
always,
quite a
is he a
while.
100-point player, or was that
80-point player.
was that a 1-year thing?
Yeah, so he's got to stay healthy, and he's got to
Yeah.
keep shooting. He has the most time on ice than he's ever had in his career.
Wow.
He's at 20 minutes of time on ice. Last year, he was at 17 and a half.
New coach.
Makes a difference. Play your stars. Literally, stars. Yeah, see what I did there?
Very cute, Nick.
I'll be quiet.
Speaking of being back, Trocheck is back from injury and coincides with the Rangers' revival.
Finally scoring at home.
Finally scoring a goal at home and winning at home.
Scoring. They went nuts this week.
Yeah, they went absolutely. One time was on the road, one time was at home. Now they're playing at their second game at home this week, tonight, and I think they were losing 2-1 to the Red Wings.
But Junior, before you continue, do you remember last week we had an episode?
Every week.
Last week's episode, we said, I'm not taking any New York Ranger player because they're playing at home and they're not scoring at home.
Yeah.
And it's too big of a risk. Well, they scored.
Well, to be fair, their second game of 2 at home was tonight, and they only scored 1 goal. But
Losers.
aside from all those goals they scored this week, JT Miller got 1 point.
Yeah, we got to get
So if
Jimmy
there's a
back on.
player that people are stressing over, it's him. But the honorable mention to Shesterkin, who went 3-0 this week. So Rangers, are they back? Like, do we have faith in starting these guys? I mean, other than Bald Panarin, we know that's an automatic.
I think Will
Cooley.
Cooley is starting to come back to what we thought he could have been. We spoke about him a lot last year and the beginning of this year, where he could be one of those dark horses that comes and gets those points. And he started the season really, really slow. But it seems, ouch, that hurt. But it seems in the last few games, 6 goals, 4 assists. He's been getting his groove back.
Yeah.
Trocheck helps because it just makes them 2 lines now. It makes Cooley's advantage of JT Miller, Lafreniere, Trocheck, Panarin. I mean, now it makes more sense, the lines with these 6 players. JT Miller, I'm a little worried about, but he seems to be he seems to get out of these little stints every year. So I'm not extremely worried, but I am, concerned for JT Miller.
Yeah, I mean, he's on a 37-point pace.
Yeah, it's brutal. $8 million?
C'est pas bon. It's not good.
No bueno.
It's no bueno.
All right, so then another player who's on the verge of being back is Brady Tkachuk. He's returned to practice. He will join the team on their upcoming Western road trip. I believe they're hitting the California. Nick, are we excited about this news? Does it affect the chemistry that right now Stutzel has and with, I don't know who his line mates are, but Batherson, like they've been playing pretty well without Tkachuk. Are we worried at all, or is this?
I just wanted to mention one last thing about JT Miller because it was a little bit important. I didn't want to brush it by. The fact is that last year his shooting percentage was 16%. The year before that, 19%. Mm-hmm. The year before that, 14%. The year before that, 15%. He's an average of about 14.5 to 15% shooting percentage. This year he's at 8. So I mean, if we're taking the underlying numbers, and he's playing 20 minutes of ice time. So if we're taking the underlying numbers into consideration here, I think that there is going to be a bounce back for JT Miller for this year.
So buy low?
Kind of a buy low candidate. Also the underlying numbers are saying it. He is shooting 2.5 shots per game. Last year he shot less, but he scored more.
Shot or shot?
He shot. Yeah, he shot. It's my Greek accent, Every day my like he is. Okay.
From New York.
So Nick
It's
will
from
be
New York.
joining Junior on IR. I'll be hosting the podcast by myself next week.
Oh, God. Okay. So you were saying about Ottawa.
Yes. Okay. So basically, Kachuk's on his way back. If not next game, the one after. Batherson, in his absence, Batherson seems to have built a nice chemistry with Stützle. Do they do a power line and add Brady Tkachuk to that left wing, or do they go back to the balanced lines and bring Batherson back down with Cousins? Like, what does this mean for everybody having Tkachuk back? Vince or Nick?
Listen, I don't think there's a lineup that's hot. A line that's hot. You don't go like they went 8-3-4 without Tkachuk. That's a pretty good record without your captain, without one of your star players. So, I don't think you ruin the chemistry of a line that's playing on all cylinders. So, but would it be bad if they put a Tkachuk with Cousins on the second line and Zerlin? I don't think that's a bad thing. So, I mean, David Perron's on the first line. You could easily put Kachuk back over there. I mean, I don't think that's having Kachuk back is just a good and more good thing for Ottawa. It's not. It's not going to be a distraction or a bad thing.
I'm very impressed with Ottawa. You know, their preseason team that they dress is not indicative of their actual team, and their actual team is doing very, very well, even without their best player. Well, second best player if you put Susula in there, right? So very good. I think the only thing that was bothering Ottawa was really their goaltending. That's the only thing that was really a big question mark with them. But other than that, like Ottawa fans, you should be really happy.
And there's also Shane Pinto too, right? That plays center. He can go on a line with Shane Pinto. So they have options. It's gonna definitely make their team a little deeper, probably a little bit scarier. Speaking of scary, this guy's been scary good this year, and a lot of people were doubting, including myself, if he'd be the power play guy on this team for long term. And he's got 10 points in 19 games. 8 of those points are on the power play. He got another point tonight. I just don't know if it was on the power play. But Maurice Sidernick, is he entering top 10, top 12 NHL defenseman in fantasy if he keeps this up?
Not in a points only league. He's still in the 20 to 25 range. Like, even though you mentioned that he has about 8 points on the power play, he's only on a 47-point pace, which last year he finished with 46 points. So he's doing the same that he did last year. There's no real big difference here. The same time on ice, same power play percentage. He's steady Eddie.
Steady Eddie.
So he is hot right now.
Top 20 in the league.
Yeah, top
sure.
20, but not top 10. So if your league counts hits, he's up there for hits as well. But other than that, I don't see much difference from what he usually does.
Yeah, listen, I think people were too worried about San Pelika taking over that power play right away, and I mean we've seen it's very hard for young players. Well, unless your name is Matthew Schaefer, to just take over a power play off the bat in the NHL. So, I mean the time on ice is still 25 minutes. Last year he played 25 minutes, but the biggest change, Junior, like you said, is last year's power play time was 2 minutes and 56. This year it's 3 minutes and 58. So he's their number one power play guy right now. So I don't think it puts him just yet in that top 15, top 10, but he will get there.
Next up, we move on to a young goalie that we spoke about highly, very highly of this guy when we had Peter Icon on one of our episodes. Nick Murashov, or is it Vince? I don't know where we're at. I think we're at Vince. Murashov, first win, first shutout overseas in Sweden during the European series between Nashville and Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. Comes as advertised.
Well, he wasn't coming advertised at all at the beginning of the season. He's just started really hot in the AHL. Remember, as of last year, Bloomquist was still in front of him as their next young goalie, and then the way he started the AHL season this year had a bit of a not shaky, but come to reality in his first NHL start. But I mean, potential is there, and he's gonna get his games in because Tristan Jarry's on IR, if I'm not mistaken. So they're gonna go one game Silovs, the other game. So he'll get his games, he'll get his reps, but I told Peter, Morozov is their future in nets, and it's a bright future. So I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, I mean his current games, like his current form, you can't really talk much about it. He only played 2 games.
2 games exactly,
and one of them was a shutout. So 1 shutout, 1 win out of 2 games, 938 save percentage, 50% quality star percentage. So his one game he did good, one day he did bad. So it's still very early, not enough sample size yet, but his future is bright. And Pittsburgh, like Pittsburgh fans, which I know a few, they're all depressed about Crosby possibly retiring soon and Malkin retiring soon. You're starting to see some of this youth movement with Kindle and Koivunen and Murashov
And yeah, McGroarty still they have, right?
I think they sent him back down.
Yeah, because he started injured. He started the season injured, but just to say, it's another name.
Yeah, there's a few names now. Yeah, absolutely, it's good.
And we're gonna end it with a moneymaker. Agent Kempe signs a 8-year deal, $10.625 million. What do we think of this contract? And were you expecting him to hit UFA?
No, I wasn't expecting him to hit UFA. I think there was always a want from him to stay in LA, but to be compensated fairly. And LA without him would suffer. He's a consistent 30 plus goal scorer. The only time he didn't hit 30 in the last 5 years is literally when he only played 77 games and he had 28 goals. So this guy is putting on average 66 to 70 points per season and hitting over 30 goals per season. He's a must keep in LA if LA had a chance of being a top, continue being a contender.
They want to keep on being if they were going to lose him, you could have easily said it was the start of rebuild in LA. So, but Byfield with him there, at least you have your pieces. You need more, but at least you have your core pieces to keep on competing with this team.
He's pacing for like under 30 goals right now. He's still a point per game player, but his shooting percentage is only 9.5. So there's even more to come from him.
Higher,
Yeah, there's even more to come from him. Guys, that does it for our Odd Man Rush.
Here for the Lowe's early Black Friday deals? You're right on time for some of our biggest savings. We're talking up to 50% off select major appliances. Plus, up to an extra 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Holiday lights going up soon? Select ladders are up to 50% off right now. Get Black Friday prices without the Black Friday crowds. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 11/19. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Hockey is back, and this season, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, brings you all the speed, skill, and nonstop action you love. DraftKings Sportsbook delivers the unmatched intensity of the NHL right to your fingertips. From player props to the thrill of live in-game betting, every drop of the puck is your shot to win big. Now, as we say week in and week out, DraftKings Sportsbook is not available in Quebec, but if it was, that would be the sportsbook we would use. And the one thing we like to do is look at shots on goal because it seems to be the easiest for us. But you can't really go wrong when you take Cutter Gauthier and Nathan McKinnon to get over a certain amount of shots on net. So that's a really cool prop amongst many, 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 many others. Have a look for yourselves, DraftKings Sportsbook app. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get paid out $300 in bonus bets instantly. Light the lamp all season long with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-97777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, PBLL. Let's give an update to our listener league so far, and it's been quite the week. I'm actually really excited about it. I don't know if you guys are, but if you take a look at our period here, I just want to show the last period. Number one of last week was Rolling Fat Dubinsky's.
Wow.
And he had 162 points. Crazy week for him. And congratulations should be in order next week if he continues that way. But congratulations should be in order for this week at least. Second place is co-host Nick. Hey! I am no longer in the 30s. I am now in 26th spot.
So you are in this league.
I am in this league, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy that I actually had a very good week. And in third place was listener Bats, who
The
had
commish.
the commish of this league. He had a great week as well. I'm trying to see.
I have it here.
You have it here? What did Rolling Fat Dubinsky's
So
have this
he-
week that
he-
made him do really well?
So he had Fantilli McDavid as his centerman. Then he had Barbashev and Gotsi as his left wingers. Marchenko and Roslovich as his right wingers. Morrissey and Schaefer as his defenseman. And surprisingly, he had Stuart Skinner as a goalie.
Well, you know what? I did really well with Stuart Skinner as a goalie as well in one of my leagues, and it's because of the fact that Edmonton will win. I had Stuart Skinner as well, right? So
Did you notice something on his team? Remember when Vince said do the opposite of Nick? He grabbed Adam Fantilli.
you're absolutely right. And I was so scared of Fantilli, but luckily enough, my team seems still to have done very well last period. What did your team do, Junior?
Hey, I'm still in first for now, but the lead is getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer every damn week.
Yeah, I had Roslovich as well. I had Skinner as well on that team. I had Schaefer as well on that team. So there was a little bit of overlap there. The difference is I had Marchenko and Dorofayev
Okay.
and Eichel and Hurdle.
Yeah,
So-
I went heavy on the Vegas guys last week and didn't pan out.
Didn't pan out, yeah. Either way, very good top three here. Can you show me what listener Bats had? Just curious.
What listener Bats had? Yeah. You want to know for the period?
Rolling Fat Dubinsky's, by the way, third place in PBLL.
See how fast it can change?
So listener Bats had Celebrini, McDavid as his centerman, Gauthier and Olofsson as his left wing, Dorofayev and Marchenko as his right winger,
Oh, so we had some similar.
Schaefer,
similarities.
Wawrinski, and once again Stewart as a goalie. So
Uh-oh.
whoever had Stewart as a goalie basically made it up there.
Stuart Skinner.
Stuart Skinner as a goalie made it up there.
I took him out last minute.
So who's this week's Stuart Skinner, Nick?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this week there are and we teased it before, there's quite a lot of teams that are playing 4 times. So if you take a look at your schedule for the upcoming week of November 17th, you have Anaheim, Boston, Buffalo, Calgary, Carolina, Chicago, Columbus, Oilers again, Islanders, Sharks, Kraken, Mammoth, and Capitals all playing 4 times. And then everybody else is pretty much playing 3 times except Ottawa, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. They're only playing twice. Nashville is only playing once. So that's a big one to keep an eye on, right? You got Forsberg or you got O'Reilly, you got Stamkos, you're starting Saros. Maybe this is the week to bench them, right?
Well, definitely.
And Pittsburgh and Nashville are on their way back from Sweden, which is why they have a light schedule.
But
Makes sense.
There's 3 other teams: Ottawa, Philly, and Pittsburgh. 2 games only this week.
Yeah,
I mentioned
he
them.
Oh, you
mentioned
mentioned
them.
them. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick. I
That's okay. It was a quality control.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? We need better auditors. That's all. I don't know. Like this week, Junior, what is your strategy this week? Obviously, there's a lot of teams playing those 4 games.
Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting week because all our favorite ELC contracts are all playing 4 games. So they're all available to you. For one team, the team that's not in first, that I usually just go with the big guns. I took a chance on McDavid this week. I took 12.5 million and I sucked it up. And I also took William Nylander. Even though they're only playing 3 games, they're playing St. Louis, Columbus, and Montreal. So I think that's an opportunity to get a lot of goals, a lot of points. So I focused them there, and then the usual, Connor Bedard, Gauthier, like all those ELC contracts. But for my first team, the one that's in first that I like to do combos, I kept Nylander and I added Tavares. So I did that duo, and
Only $4 million, Tavares. That's a very
it.
nice deal.
We forget about it sometimes, because he gets so many points, you automatically think he makes a higher salary. But at 4.38, it's great. And I like Utah too this week, so I took Clayton Keller and Dylan Genter. Those are my 2 big combos.
Vince, what's your week looking like?
Listen, I wasn't satisfied with my week with my Bigfoot team, so I went back to my bread and butter, which is the Utah Mammoths. I dressed all Utah players, and I mixed Utah players with some Seattle players because they're playing 4 games, and Islander players. So I have those 3 teams. Heineman, I feel at 1.1 million is a bargain right now. He's really on fire. Scored again tonight. So I'm just hoping that Utah can get those goals in for the last 4 games, and that's it. So that's how I went on one of my teams, and this is basically the team that I keep on talking about. Is I really concentrate on who plays 4 games. I really want to see if it really makes a big difference, and so far I'm in 4th place in the league with this team. So those extra games are helping. And then with one of my other teams, I dressed McDavid, Draisaitl, and just went ELC contracts all the way down.
Yeah, so I'm kind of in a similar boat here. I'm not going to mention all 3 of my teams because that's just boring. But I will
2
mention
of them at the bottom.
I still finished second this week. So you know what? Screw you, man. All right. So I went with the favorite ELC contracts as well. I went Bedard, Leo Carlson, Gauthier. These are guys that I just feel are so freaking good, especially this year. And then I actually went with Jackson Blake from Carolina as a right winger. Again, ELC contract. His $5 million only starts next year. David Pasternak is my big money player, and just watching him play against Montreal,
he was all over the ice.
He was
Holy
everywhere.
moly. Yeah,
He even without like talented line mates,
yeah.
he was just everywhere. He looks amazing. I also took Nikishin and Schaefer on D, both of them very cheap, and I went with Spencer Knight because he's the best goalie in the NHL right now.
Yeah.
Fantasy wise, he's the best goalie in the NHL.
And only 4 million, 4 point something,
4.5 million. So why not? Like I'll stick with the hot hand there. And I also picked Alex Ovechkin because I had so much money left over after all these ELCs. I'm like, I got to spend this money somewhere. So Ovechkin is the person that I picked. And now that I'm thinking of, I couldn't afford Draisaitl. I was hoping Draisaitl would be able to fit in there. Couldn't afford him. So we'll see what happens this week. You never know, right? With this league, and especially with guys like Ovechkin, hits count in this league, shots count. So you never know.
I want to add. So I know we focus a lot on the teams that play 4 games. The Rangers are playing 3 games this week, and they're all away. So we can expect some goals, right? Yeah. I mean, okay, they're playing Vegas, Colorado, and Utah. So it's not a bad option if you want to dip your feet into the Rangers roster.
I wouldn't go JT Miller this week.
Yeah, well, you know what? Thanks for saying that, because I own him in another league, and hopefully it's his resurgence. Vegas plays the Rangers, Utah, and Anaheim. So that's another team with only 3 games that could work out for you. And there was one more. I lost it, but it doesn't matter. Vince,
one player. One player. I just wanted to mention one player, and I took him in my second team. But what do you guys think about Bo Horvat this year so far?
Oh man, underrated.
He has been absolutely on fire, and in PBLL, because of scoring and shots and. He's just killing it. He's like, he is, if I'm looking here, top 10 in the league in fantasy points for PBL right now.
Yeah, top guy is David Pasternak, but listen, quite. He's having a a great year, but it also explains to you why the Islanders are first, second, or third in the division, because the Roy has them just playing so well right now.
Roy has them playing very well, and I think Schaefer has a big part of that as well.
Oh yeah,
right?
I don't
Like-
think I think they expected Schaefer to be good, but I don't think anybody.
I
Expected
don't think,
him
and
to be
nobody expected Schaefer to
this
be
good.
this
I mean,
good.
in fantasy, Misa was going before Schaefer in a lot. Of,
Well, we did it in
Yeah,
DPR,
exactly.
right?
It wasn't even a thought.
No,
It was like
exactly.
Misa.
We
first.
jumped from ninth overall pick to first overall pick, and spent all kinds of stuff to get Misa.
Yeah.
And Schaefer seems to have been the
guy-
play
Yeah,
so far, anyways.
Just want to add the lineup of games for Utah because we all seem to be high on them. Anaheim, San Jose, and then Vegas and the Rangers.
Rangers at home. So it's not bad.
Columbus too has a decent schedule. I mean, look, this is a week where there's so many games being
Yeah,
played that you could really go anywhere and
And in any direction.
in any direction, and
Yeah.
especially with ELCs. I think this might be one of the weeks where we'll have a big there'll be a big diversity in between each team, just because there's more options.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that does it for PBLL. Guys, thank you for listening to our Monday podcast. I'll wait until the song
Yeah.
finishes.
Come on,
It's,
this is
too,
your
it's just
song.
such a good song. All right, guys. So thank you very much for listening to our Monday podcast. Please tune in on Wednesday as we will drop our second episode of the week.
Yes.
And hopefully that's going to be our continuation.
Fantasy
from
Lens.
Yes, episode 1 of the Fantasy Lens series.
Fantasy Lens, where we take a lens to topics fantasy.
Yeah, so we basically do like a deep dive. Because our main episode, there's so many things to talk about. There's fantasy relevant topics that we have a hard time going deep into because we don't want to be an episode of an hour and a half to 2 hours long.
Hopefully you're going to be better this time.
I will be sharper, I promise. Tune in to find out.
Like, subscribe.
Ciao, take care. Come here.
Tis the season of gifting and halls to deck, and the Who's and Who Newville were in love with new tech. Where can we find Sonos and Samsung and Nintendo, they shouted. Would they find it in one place? This they questioned and doubted. When suddenly a Who yelled, Walmart's the place to start! And each Who added headphones, TVs, and games to their carts. With Walmart, their shopping was done in a flurry. They cried out, "Who knew?" and ordered their gifts in a hurry. Shop the latest tech gifts in the Walmart app.